Hola, buenas tardes, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you are all safe and staying home inside, getting ready for a long weekend. Let's see if you can hear my voice and see the screen. Please let me know before we get started in the questions box. Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. I'm Miles Thacker. I'm the Education Advisor at Fulbright, Columbia. And we are going to be talking about the different platforms to apply for the postgraduate scholarships for the call for applications of postgraduate scholarships, which is open until the 4th of May. So let's go ahead and get started. Just a few housekeeping rules. Your microphone will be deactivated, so you won't be able to speak during this presentation. If you have any questions, you can write it in the questions box or caja de preguntas. Make sure that you can hear that either you have your headphones plugged in or you have your sound on. And this webinar will be recorded. And we'll post it on our YouTube page, but until it's posted on our YouTube page, you can use the link that you used to register for this webinar to view this webinar after we are done. So the same exact link that you used to register for this webinar, you can use that link to also view the recorded version of the webinar. I will save questions till the end of the webinar. It's a shorter webinar, so we'll have plenty of time for questions. So what are the objectives? First, we're going to talk about what is SLATE, what is LASPAL, and who is going to use which platform. And how do I apply for the Fulbright Scholarship with SLATE, also LASPAL, and then recommendations. So first, let's start with SLATE. SLATE is a platform administered by the Institution of International Education. And this allows applicants of over 900 different scholarship programs and universities in the United States to use their platform and their services. They also have placement services, and those of you who are applying through IIE will use those placement services, which I'll explain later. So who uses this? Fulbright, a lot of different universities, CU University, Georgia, NYU. Now let's talk about LASPAL. What is LASPAL? It stands for Latin American Scholarship Program of American Universities. So LASPAL works with Latin Americans to apply to United States universities. They work with over 18,000 scholars, 5,000 educators, and 1,000 institutions, including Fulbright, Columbia. And they work with our scholars to apply to universities in the United States. So if you are selected for the Fulbright Scholarship, you will also be working with LASPAL. They have placement officers that help you select universities. So who's going to use which platform? It's pretty straightforward. It depends on which of the scholarships is administered by which of these institutions, LASPAL or IIE. So in the case of Pasaporte a la Ciencia, MinCiencias, Afrodescendientes, and the beca Fulbright Indígenas, you will be using the platform LASPAL. As for SLATE, if you are applying for Min Cultura para Artistas y Gestores Culturales, you will be using the platform SLATE. So if you're not quite sure which one you'll be using, basically these are the different scholarships that different platforms. Of course, in the terms of reference, you will have those links. It's really important that you use the terms of reference with those links from this current year, from cohort 2021, 2022. If you are using terms of reference from last year, all of those terms of reference have links that won't work for your specific scholar. So it's important to use the current terms of reference with the current requirements, the current benefits, as well as the application process. So how do you apply, enter the slate are available in the reference. You also need to make sure you fill out a form that offers, fill out both of those forms, which does not take, and then of course the application process either from Slate or LastPal. And then you're going to find in this of reference the Slate or LastPal directions to apply step by step. You're going to add personal information. You're going to add required documents, depends on the scholarship. You're going to register recommenders and follow through with the recommenders. You're going to make sure that application is complete, and then finally you'll send the application. It's really important that you have all those documents that we're asking for. Don't just use the platform. So don't just log into LastPal and follow the directions on LastPal, or don't just go onto Slate and follow the directions on Slate. You need to follow country-specific directions in which you will find in the terms of reference. And there it will tell you which documents to upload. And it's very important that you upload all those documents, because if you are missing one of those documents in the process, you won't pass to the next stage. There are 3 filters. There's revisión técnica, there's entrevistas, interviews. There's revisión técnica, there's evaluación académica, and then entrevistas, so interviews. So the first filter is revisión técnica. So we basically just make sure you have the minimum scores and you have all the documents. If you don't have the minimum scores or the documents, you won't pass on to evaluación académica. So you won't have your essays ready. You won't have your letters of recommendation looked at. So it's really important that you have every single document. Let's go ahead. I'm going to show you how to find the terms of reference. So you're going to go to fulbright.edu.co posgrado, okay? And you are going to choose which scholarship you would like to apply to depending on your profile. If you are applying at the doctorate level, you will choose Min Ciencias, okay? And then here, you'll have a little description, so make sure you read that description. Make sure this is the exact scholarship you want to apply to. Then you go to Cómo aplicar, términos y referencias. Okay, and you're going to click on them, and that's where you'll find the términos y referencia. Today we're going to look at, first let's look at arts, Min cultura para artistas. Okay, so at the very, very end of this document, you will find, okay, in Anexo 1, instrucciones para postular su candidatura al programa de becas Fulbright en cultura para artistas, plataforma Slate, okay? And this has step by step. So if you simply just log on to Slate and fill out the application, you will be missing a few things in that process. So make sure you apply with these instructions. And these instructions are general for the 4 scholarships. Actually this one's just for Min Cultura because it's Slate. So this one's just for Min Cultura. But remember to look at your required documents. And in those required documents, it will tell you exactly where to upload that document in the profile you're applying to. So in this instance, Min Cultura, the only scholarship which you will be applying through the platform Slate. For example, your essays, you will upload them in the section study plan in the platform. So it tells you exactly where to upload those documents in the platform and the required documents that you need. And of course, in the instructions, you have all the necessary links that you need to apply. So here's the formulario de registro, which is directly through Fulbright. So you're going to fill that out, which is a Google Forms doc. And then you can click and start your application in Slate. Once you're registered, ready to go, you can apply in the platform Slate. So here's mine. So you have all of these sections, right? And these match up with exactly where you are going to upload those documents. So if we go back to arts, we go to one of these requirements over here. Let's say it is certificado de notas. So you're going to upload your transcripts in this section, academic materials. So then you will go here. You will go to academic materials. If this loads. And look, I've already added all my institutions and I've uploaded my transcripts from CSU. Okay. So that is where you will upload your transcripts and diplomas. Now let's go ahead and talk about Pasaporte a la Ciencia. So same thing, you know where to find the terms of reference. This one is Anexo 3 because there are a few more annexos for Pasaporte a la Ciencia. So not all of them you're going to find in Anexo 1. Actually, all of the scholarships you'll find them in Anexo 1 except Pasaporte a la Ciencia. But here you have step-by-step how to apply with LASPAO. Okay, and LASPAO, yes, you will still fill out a formulario de registro, and then you will fill out your Fulbright application form with LASPAO. Now, this is a completely different platform. So make sure you are using the correct platform with your scholarship. So this is where you're going to register. Once you register, you'll receive an email, and then you'll be able to enter and start working on your application. Remember that you can save your application at any time with both of these platforms. So let's go ahead and go to my application. So with LASPAO specifically, at any point in the application process, you can save, but it won't save it automatically. You need to click on Save My Progress and resume later. Okay? Do not click resume a previously saved form. That will erase what you did in your last session. So do not click on resume a previously saved form. Only click on Save My Progress and resume later. So this one right here on the left, make sure only click on that one. And it's really important that if you fill this whole thing out and your computer crashes and you did not click Save My Progress, all of that information will be deleted. So I recommend, you know, every once in a while after filling something out, okay, that you to choose a date that you save my progress. Okay, so make sure you save it, and every time you click on that, you can come back to it at any time. So you can upload documents as you please, a few at a time, and save your progress and resume later. But make sure you click on resume later. Now with IIE, there is no save button. With this application process, you're just going to click continue. And when you click continue, it will automatically save your progress. So the platforms are very different. Remember that you will only be working with one of these platforms because you are only allowed to apply for one scholarship at a time. So that's kind of the gist of how this works. So let's go ahead and move on to some recommendations. So some recommendations while applying, make sure you read carefully the terms of reference that apply to your scholarship. And remember, in the terms of reference, it'll tell you which section to upload your documents, which is very nice. So you're going to be looking at both of those parts of the terms of reference, where to upload it, then you're going to go to the platform and upload that document. As we discussed, make sure you save changes before moving on for testing. So with Slate, you're going to push continue, and then with the lost file, you're going to click save. And you can return to your application at any time. Let's make this bigger. You are going to fill all required questions and attach all the documents. Remember that if you miss a single document in the process, you won't move on to the evaluación académica, where we actually review your essays. Filling out this application does take time, so start early, start now. Now is the time, especially if you're cooped up inside, you have a lot of time to start this application process. Make sure you follow up with recommenders, making sure they have received an email from Slate or LostPal. So in both of the platforms, you will send an email directly through the platform to your recommenders, and the recommenders will upload those documents. And you can track the progress. So with both platforms, you can see if you have received that document through the platform from that recommender. But make sure you follow up with the recommenders. So first of all, make sure you contact the recommenders before you send them this link through the platform. Then send them the link, of course, and make sure that they've sent it to you, which you can check the progress on either platform, on Slate or LostPal. So there are a lot of different formats that are allowed in Slate or LostPal. You can use Word format, JPEG, GIF, TIFF, Docs, Microsoft Word format. So there are a lot of documents that they accept, but we recommend PDF, everything in PDF, because we could receive documents with different symbols for letters depending on how the document is translated. So make sure you download all your documents in PDF format. So documents created with Mac software like AppleWorks and Pages, they also need to be downloaded in PDF in Acrobat 7 or above. So make sure all of your documents are in PDF. Try and use the most updated version of Google Chrome that's compatible with Windows, Macs, and Linux, because this will really support you in your application process so your computer doesn't crash, so you can upload documents and save your progress. Remember, again, you can only apply for one scholarship at a time, so you will only be using one platform, either the LostPal platform or the Slate platforms. Slate for Min Cultura and para artistas, and then for all of the other scholarships, you will be using LostPal. More recommendations. So the essays, study research objective, and personal statement, they need to have 1.5 spacing between the lines and paragraphs and Times New Roman size 12. Also 2.5 centimeter margin around the entire document. Each essay is 2 pages long. Also, you can go ahead and refer to how to write those documents in the webinar that we had a few days ago, which is on essays. So remember to look at any of those old webinars that we already had this week. You can look at those recorded versions from the registration link directly from that link through the GoToWebinar platform. Meanwhile, we will certainly upload those to our YouTube page as well. So if your recommender can't find an email from Slate or LostPal, be sure that they check their spam box or junk mail, because that is a common occurrence. So check that before you send a message to either me or the LostPal tech support team. Start your application before May 4th. So near the last days, it does get a little bit difficult to upload all of those documents and applications because everybody's using the platform at the same time on May 4th. So definitely start your application process now. If you can get that application in a week or a few weeks before, much better. So technical support, if you have any questions during the process, for technical issues with LostPal, you're going to contact tech support at lostpal.org. And if you have a technical issue with the Slate platform, you can contact me directly at consejeria@fulbright.edu.co. Of course, these will also be in the terms of reference. So if you don't remember these emails, they will be directly in the terms of reference for you. So that pretty much sums up the web platforms for you guys. We will have more webinars on each of the specific scholarships. So MinCiencias, Pasaporte a la Ciencia, Indígenas, Afrodescendientes, and MinCultura para artistas y gestores culturales. So you can find us there next week. After Puente, we will be hosting webinars. So thanks so much for joining us today. Let's go ahead and receive questions. Before you start writing your questions, I want to tell you we are very, very aware of the coronavirus. We understand that a lot of test centers are closing, including TOEFL, GRE, IELTS, TOEFL ITP. We know that some universities are closing as well. As of now, we are keeping the date, the 4th of May, for the application process until we hear further news. We're waiting to hear official news from ETS, which is the service that offers the TOEFL and GRE. And we're waiting to see, just like everybody else, day by day, how this progresses. So depending on the coronavirus and what actions the government takes, what actions institutions take, we will take actions as well. So just be aware, pendientes, and follow us on redes sociales, on those networks, those social networks, Fulbright Colombia Facebook, Fulbright Colombia Instagram, Fulbright Col Twitter, and Fulbright Colombia on LinkedIn. So follow us on those pages to hear any updates. As of now, we will close the convocatoria on the 4th of May, but just stay tuned. And let's go ahead and see what questions you all have. So I'm sorry if you can't hear me very well. I wasn't able to return to the office, so I don't have the most advanced technology, and my internet, it might be slow here, so I apologize if you miss anything. Just remember that you can also look at the recorded version again using the registration link that you used to register for this webinar. So Jorge Rueda, luego de cargar los documentos en plataforma LastPal, ¿es posible revisarlos en vista previa? So Jorge, no, but the document, it will say which document you uploaded and the exact name of it, and it will work, but you can actually preview it before. In Slate, you can do a preview, but with LastPal, they don't have a preview. Jorge, ¿es posible reenviar el correo al enlace para los recomendantes suben la carta de recomendación? Jorge, in LastPal, you can only send one correo, okay? So you can only send it one time, and you need to send it for both recommenders at the same time, which is different than Slate. So if you're having problems with that, maybe if the recommender didn't receive your correo, make sure they check the spam box. If it's still not working, you can contact the tech support with LastPal. So Jose, is the terms of reference detailed enough when it comes to fill out required questions on the platform? It is very, very detailed instructions, and it tells you exactly what to fill out. Remember, the application process is in English, so you will need to have a good level of English in order to fill this application process out. We will walk you through section by section, but of course we won't walk you through question by question, because it should be straightforward enough. Ana Maria, where can we find the other webinars? You can actually download, or not download it, but you can stream those webinars live through the old registration links. So if you go, let's see, if you go to our web page, we go to home. This might take a second. Then you scroll down and you see charlas informativas, más información. And here you will see those links, okay? And I know these are the registration links, but if you click on that link, you put in your name and your email, you can actually watch those webinars as well. Okay. Delia, last year I applied to Fulbright. This year, which platform should I use? You will know which platform to use depending on the scholarship that you're applying to. So in the case of Min Cultura, you will use the Slate platform. In the case of Las Pa, or in the case of Afrodescendientes, Indígenas, Min Ciencias, and Pasaporte de la Ciencia, you will use the Las Pa platform. But you really don't need to know which platform you're using. All you need to do is click on the links in the terms of reference, and it will guide you right to where you need to go. Alexis, where can I find the recorded version of this webinar? You can find it right with the same link you used to register for this webinar. So Daniela, en la sección Country Information, eligió la beca Min Cultura para artistas y la fecha ya cerró y que cambié la beca en 2019, a pesar que la aplicación es para cohorte 2020-2021. ¿Qué hago? So Daniela, the cohorte is not 2020-2021. The cohorte is 2021-2022. So yes, the application process has closed for cohorte 2020 a 2021. What you need to choose is 2021-2022. Why? Because 2021 is when the applicants of this convocatoria will start their studies in the United States. So it's important that you add the year that you will be studying, not the year that you are applying. So make sure you choose 2021 to 2022. Jimena, do I need to have the results of English test, IELTS, or TOEFL and GRE before the 4th of May? You may not know you don't need to have those test results, but you will need to have the registration number. So you'll need to put that registration number in your application, and you can get that registration number once you register for an exam. So with the case of coronavirus, you just need to stay pendientes because we are not quite sure yet what actions we're going to take involving those exams. Okay, so just make sure you follow us on social networks, and we will have updates. So when is the Google form registration form filled out? Edgar, you will fill this out before you even start the process with the Slate platform or the LastPass platform. So you'll do that right away. Ana, hola Miles, se pueden modificar los archivos una vez cargados. So Ana, yeah, you can go back and delete any documents and upload different documents at any time with both platforms. Andres, do you think it is better to wait for the payment for GRE results so Fulbright can check them? Because the dollar is very expensive now in comparison with some days earlier. Well, Andres, I don't even know if you can register right now for the exam because I don't know if they offer it. So you'll just have to wait. We're just gonna have to wait, see what happens. I can't tell you whether to purchase it now or purchase it later. There's so many different institutions. ETS runs GRE and the TOEFL, and I'm still waiting to hear news from them. And British Council runs the IELTS, and then we run our TOEFL ITP, which most centers are closed at this time. So we're just waiting. Hopefully there'll be some exam dates that open later on next month, so you can take those at the very last minute, or we'll have to figure out a different way. So just stay tuned. So Anna, the documents that you upload in LastPass, yes, you can change them, or in Slate. So Nathan, so ¿dónde dice que escribir texto en la plataforma LastPass no se debe escribir ni mayúscula sostenida ni minúscula sostenidas? ¿Cuál es la forma correcta? So the correct form is to just write out as you would write daily. So you have capital and then you have lowercase after the capital if it's the start of a sentence or if it's the title of a university or the title of something else. With the Slate, you will use all capitals. If you happen to do this or make an error, it's not the end of the world, it's fine. But please read those terms of reference depending if it's LastPass or Slate and follow those directions. Ana Lopez, so if somebody adds the letter recommendation, but they want to add something, as I said before, you'll need to contact LastPass directly with that because we don't have the tools to change documents in LastPass. My recommendation is for one, choose your recommenders wisely. Only send them an email one time and have them just upload one document, which is the letter of recommendation. If something goes wrong in that process, maybe they uploaded the wrong document, maybe the recommenders didn't receive the email, then you can go to LastPass, make sure you contact them. If it is through LastPass, if it's through Slate, you can contact me directly with your specific case. So this is a very specific case, and you would need to contact the technical support team. Pasaporte a la Ciencia, so will I use the same as last year? No, you won't. So the platforms have changed this year. Most are now using the LastPass platform. Last year we had everyone using the Slate platform. This year most of the scholarships are LastPass except Min Cultura para artistas y gestores culturales. So if you're applying for Pasaporte a la Ciencia, you need to use the new terms of reference with the new links. Okay, Ivan, in Becca Fulbright Min Ciencias, how should I upload the documents that support experience in research? If I only have articles published, what is the recommendation? If I have labor certification, should I upload, add it to my CV there or any place? Where should I do it? So Ivan, you will not upload any other documents than the ones that we require for the application. We don't need any certificates. That's just more documents that we don't need. Only add the documents that we are asking for. If you want to prove 2 years, only 2 years of research experience, you will need to upload that certificate. You can do that in additional documents or with your CV, but make sure you upload that. But other than that, we don't need any other certificates. We don't need any work certificates. We don't need any other certificates. All we're asking for is those documents that we directly ask for in the terms of reference. So Jose, is there a due date in order to register in the platform, or I might register 10 days before May 4th? So Jose, my recommendation is to go ahead and jump into the platform right now. Check out that platform, see how it works, see how it functions, upload some documents that you have, fill out the fields that you have the information for, to just get a feel for the platform and in order to know the terms of reference and the documents you need to upload. You can start that at any time. I recommend starting that right away, the application process, because you can save and go back at any time. So my recommendation is start now and then go ahead and go back and add those documents. As you feel, you have until the 4th of May, I believe at midnight, or actually 11:59, to upload all those documents. Nated, if you are in a different country other than Colombia, does that take away points for receiving a scholarship? No, it doesn't. It does not at all. So Jose Ospina, I have an English test that expired June 2021. If I get selected, do I have to take it again? Jose, it depends on your score. If you have a really, really good score, no, you don't have to take it again. But remember that if you get accepted or nominated with Fulbright, we offer the ability to take the TOEFL again for free. So if you want to just see and try and get a better score, if it's necessary that you get a better score depending on the universities you're applying to, yes, you need to work very hard and get a better score. But if you already have a really good score, you may not need to take that exam a second time. So Angela, maybe you got here a little late, but if you are in a webinar and you want the recorded version right now, remember we will be posting these on our YouTube page. I'll be sending it to our communications officer to upload all of these webinars. So we'll probably at least have them by next week, hopefully sooner. But in the meantime, you can still take a look at those webinars. You can go directly to this link that you use to register for this webinar to look at the recorded version directly through the GoToWebinar platform. So if you'd like to check out this video again, you can see it there. Okay, let's see. Do we have any more questions while we're waiting? Alex, he's asking to upload documents. If you choose a document in PDF, maximum 2 pages, it's possible to include a third page that one of the pages is citations or references. So Alex, it depends on which document you're talking about. I'm guessing you're talking about the essay. So with the essay, yes, you can add another page, which is citations. There's no problem with that. But remember that it's not necessary to use citations. This document is about you, about why you think you are the best candidate for the Fulbright scholarship. And it's supposed to be in your own words. So we don't want to see a lot of references from other documents or other sources. We want to see it in your own words. If you happen to use a quote or one reference and you'd like to add that, of course, yes, you can add another page to your essay. Delia, platform last year. So the platform last year, we only used Slate. This year, we are using LostPal and Slate. The best way to make sure you're using the right platform is use those links directly on the terms of reference, because those links will direct you to the platform which corresponds directly with that scholarship. Any other questions? Again, I know some of you are very worried about the exams due to the coronavirus now that they have closed most exams in most different cities. Just stay calm and wait. I know that some different institutions are trying to work out how they can give exams in another way. So just stay calm and wait, and we'll just have to wait to hear news in order to give you more news about what will happen with the convocatoria, and so on and so forth. Okay, Jose Ospina, how many people apply to Pasaporte a la Ciencia and how many get accepted to the interview? I don't remember the exact numbers from last year, honestly. I do know the number for the total scholarships. So there were 66 scholarships last year offered. This year there's 67. Of those 66 scholarships, 472 applied and over 100 people were interviewed. So that's about the gist of it. Jorge, he has a question about carta de recomendación. If someone applied, or if they know somebody from 6 years ago, can they still write the letter of recommendation? Yeah, that's fine as long as it corresponds with what you want to study and they can speak well of you. And also, if you've maintained contact with them for 6 years, that's even better. That means you've known them for 6 years. So that could be a really good reference. Only if you've maintained contact. If you haven't spoke with them for 6 years, I would think it would be difficult to ask them for a reference because you haven't spoken to them for so long. But if you've kept contact with them, yeah, that would be a great reference. Alejandra, how long will it take to upload all the documents in the platform? Well, I wouldn't be able to tell you. It really depends on the person and how long you take. Most people, I mean, it could take a few hours to fill out the application form if you have all those documents ready. If you don't have them ready, of course, it's going to take a little bit longer. If ETS, for example, opens before the 4th of May, do we have to have the results for the application or the registration number would work? So Jimena, even at this point, even if we didn't have the coronavirus outbreak, you would have until the 4th of May to take your exam anyway, as it says in the terms of reference. And we will receive those results after you take it. And you get your registration link as soon as you register for the exam, not after you take it. So in any case, if you don't have the results, that's fine. You can simply just put that registration number right in the platform, and we will receive the results. Okay, any other questions? Laura, ¿hay información adicional que deba escribirse en la plataforma que no se incluya en los documentos? No. So basically, just remember, Laura, you need to follow the terms of reference and only upload those documents that they are asking for. You don't need to upload any extra information. But you're asking whether the documents. So just remember, follow the terms of reference. It will tell you step by step which information you need to include. Yes, well, this platform isn't only to upload documents. It's also to add information about yourself. So you do need to fill out the entire document. Ivan has a question about where he's going to put his experience. You're going to put your experience, your research experience, as long as it's 2 years after your pre-graduate. You're going to put that in your CV, and you can either attach that additionally to your CV or additional documents. Any other questions? Okay, looks like we don't have any more questions. That's it for this series of webinars. Again, due to the coronavirus, we are not in the office, and there are exams being canceled, but just stay tuned. Follow us on social media. You can find all of those links for social media there. And we will be updating you on what next steps we will be taking. So hang tight. Again, most of you are stuck in your house, so it's a good time to start the application process now. You might as well. And best of luck to all of you. And remember, you can always ask me any individual questions that you have. Consejeria@fulbright.edu.co. So if you have any questions at all during the application process, feel free to contact me there. You guys have a wonderful afternoon. Stay safe, stay healthy, and until the next webinar, I'll see you all later.